It's the 19th of March today, and in the UK that means that it's Mothering Sunday. So I've been trying to think of some ideas for what I can give my own mum later on today, because I had been growing these bulbs, which I know I've shown on many other videos before, and they're looking quite pretty now. So one option is that I plant up a little planter like this or something similar and give my mum some bulbs. So that's one option we'll look at. But I also thought we would just go and see if there's anything at all we could cut for a little bunch of flowers. Mother's Day's early this year. Last year I actually had some tulips, so I actually was able to do my mum. It was the first bouquet I did last year, and it was actually, there was interest in it. I'm not expecting to be able to find anything quite as good this year, but we'll go and have a look and see what we can find. It feels a little bit alien to have a bucket of cool water and my snips because it's been winter. So this is actually going to be quite nice to go around and see if I can find anything. I'm not expecting much, but we'll see what we can do. It's a good idea when you're doing a bunch of flowers to put flowers at slightly different stages. So these daffodils are a lot more closed up, but these ones will come out as this one starts to go over. If you put them all in at this stage, then the bouquet won't last as long. And this is how you sort of buy them in the supermarket. I like to cut them when they've bent over, but you can cut them when they're a bit straighter. They just don't look so attractive in a bouquet. Got a nice honeysuckle here for a bit of greenery. This is the first time I've ever actually seen blossom on my ornamental cherry, because every year it goes into bud and then we have a really harsh frost and it never flowers. So it's really lovely to see this pretty little flower coming in the garden this year for the first time. Unfortunately, the choice here looks a little bit worse for wear, so I don't think we'll be able to cut any of that. But we can definitely have some of this brachyglottis. Okay, so we have got the honeysuckle, the viburnum, a little bit of cherry blossom, brachyglottis, the daffodils, and some hellebore. So it's quite a sweet little collection. So even when your garden looks completely bare, if you rummage around enough, you can find something. I've just spent ages in the workshop trying to make it look a bit tidier than it was. I was a bit embarrassed. Because of the condensation I've mentioned in here before, over the winter I just sort of don't come in here, but I do just to dump stuff. So it's been a bit of a dumping ground, but I've cleared a bit of space to make my mum a bouquet, and that's what we're going to do now. So if you're using daffodils in mixed bouquets, the sap can actually make, you see all that really sticky sap, that can make other flowers go over much quicker. So what you really want to do is have your daffs in a separate bucket to condition them. So if I were making a bunch of flowers for sale, that's what I would do. I hope my mum's not watching this, because she'll know that I'm not going to the the extent that I would if I was selling it. Because my mum, I'm just going to make the bouquet now, and it will just go in a vase of water, and it will last as long as it lasts. To be honest, because most of the other stuff we've got is all woody stemmed shrubs, I don't think it's going to be an issue. If you were putting it with other flowers with softer stems, I think it would be. So let's have a look at what we've got. I got this sweet little double-headed one as well that I found in the garden. I don't know the variety, because goodness knows when I planted that. So we've got a few different colours as well. We've got this paler yellow here, and then this one that's a bit garish, really. It's really dark. But you see the contrast when if you put different varieties of daffodils together, how nice they can look. And it's lovely to have another colour to offset them, which is why we've sort of got the pinky tinge in the viburnum and the lovely pink in the cherry blossom, and again following that pinky theme through in the hellebores there. And I've got hellebores that have gone to seed here, because they will last, because they've already gone to seed. You don't want to get the ones that haven't been pollinated yet. I don't want to sound like a snob now, but I would much prefer to be given something like this out of the garden for Mother's Day than I would to be given some of the... I'm going to upset a lot of people now, because you may well have received some of these things for Mother's Day. But when I was in town on Friday, I thought that some of the bouquets of flowers in the supermarkets, I won't name any names, but in one supermarket they even had like flowers with a cardboard gerbera. Well, it was probably made of wood. Anyway, I thought they were hideous. And that is going to make me sound like a snob, and I'm going to upset a lot of people. But if I received something on Mother's Day, I mean, I remember when I was little, and I don't know if you were the same, just going out onto the road and picking my mum. You're not allowed to really, although it was our verge, so I suppose that is allowed. But picking some primroses. And I just think I'd much rather have a little bud vase with some primroses in it than a wooden gerbera. But maybe that's just me. Sorry if I've offended anybody. Just threading a few extra flowers in now. The hellebores are very short, so I'm tucking them in on the edges. I'll put him. Oh, he's a bit shorter, so I'll pop him down there. I think this is the only one that came out of the cutting garden, and he's going to actually probably ruin it a little bit because he's called Red Devon, and he's going to have an orange trumpets. Actually, thinking about it, I don't think I'll put him in because orange just won't go with the sort of pink and yellow theme. So there we are. So what I'll do now, we'll just cut the stems to the same length so it can go in a vase. You see that's just a pretty forage collected from the garden, little bunch of flowers for my mum to put on her table. Right, we'll just tie these. Gosh, I'm trying to remember the last time I tied some flowers off. Would have been September, very end of September. And now we're mid-March. Yeah, it feels like a lifetime ago. You want to do it tight enough so that the bunch of flowers stays together, but you don't want to do it so tight that you're squashing the stems, especially if you're working with soft stems like from bulbs, so tulips and daffodils and hyacinths and things like that. Right, we'll just cut the ends off. I'm not supposed to use these scissors for string, but all my kit is in the house because the shed's been a bit cold and horrible. But there we are. Isn't that sweet? Let's hope my mum likes it. Here we are, all finished. Little bulb planter and a little bunch of forage spring flowers, all ready for my mum. Happy Mother's Day to all you mums out there.